With the recent crisis rocking a party referred to as the Third Force, NLC President Joe Ajaero has rejected Mr. Abure's re-election and the party's chairman, which has also recently seen the defection of its lawmakers. Does it look like the Labour Party is heading for disaster? BKO.
All is not well with the Labour Party. And, I say this because the facts available to me point in the direction of crisis. The party is divided. They may not have what looks like a proper faction, but all the signs points to the fact that the Labour Party is divided at this time. For example, the Board of Trustees of the party announced that it was taking over the running of the party from Barrister Julius Abure. Not only that, the leadership of the party disowned its own Board of Trustees. I've never seen anything like that since I've been following politics in our country. The party organized a convention where its bigwigs were notably absent. Bigwigs like Peter Obi, like the former national chairman of Abuja, like Tony Nwoye. They stayed away from the convention of the party, which brought Barrister Julius Abure to office. Normally, when you have a convention like that, and if a party chairman is very popular, one way to show that he's popular is for bigwigs in the party to stand by him, show up at the convention, and show their support publicly. Even after the convention, the most important member of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, evaded questions around the emergence of Julius Abure at the National Convention. That National Convention had been opposed by not just the political wing of the Nigerian Labour Congress led by President of the NLC, Joe Ajaero, but the House of Reps caucus of the party also opposed the convention. As far as Ajaero and his people are concerned, Julius Abure has been doing his best to hold on rigidly and tenaciously to the leadership of the party. And they accuse him of corruption stemming from the expression of interest and nomination forms that the party sold. So they accuse him of corruption in the region of 3 billion naira. Don't also forget that the national treasurer of the party similarly accused Julius Abure of corruption. So the NLC, it has to be said, has already written to the National Legal Advisor of the party, as well as the INEC, not to validate the convention that gave Julius Abure a second term in office. So these problems are there. The NLC sees the Labour Party now as something that belongs to it. Remember, the Labour Party was formed in the year 2003. It used to be it was an offshoot of a political party known as Party for Social Democracy. So the name was changed and it became Labour Party. So the NLC, which is the parent body of the Labour Party, sees the party as belonging to it and sees people like Abure as people who came in to hijack the party and run it to the exclusion of other stakeholders. This is the big problem that has divided the Labour Party, which experienced unprecedented success in the 2023 presidential election, as well as the National Assembly election, especially. Because in the governorship elections, it didn't really do well. But in the National Assembly election, held on the same day as the presidential election, the party did tremendously well. And today, it is finding it difficult to manage the successes that it recorded, or the success that it has recorded. So now, one other big problem, which if the Labour Party does not guard its loins, would be expanded, would get worse in the days to come, is the possible defection of its bigwigs to other parties. If they find it difficult to resolve the crisis that is going on at this time, definitely we should expect that some of their members will defect. Already, during the week, 6 members of the Enugu State House of Assembly, who were members of the Labour Party, decided to defect. And this includes the majority leader of the party, the chief whip.
That's right.
Because the Labour Party had control, had the majority in the Enugu State House of Assembly. And that's why many people remain unconvinced that Labour Party didn't win the governorship election in the state, because they dominated the House of Assembly election. Now, some of those gains have been wiped away with the defection of 6 members.
That's right.
Including the majority leader and the chief whip. So, and what reason did they cite for defecting? They claimed that their defection had to do with the crisis that is rocking their party. No one would deny that the party is already being bogged down by crisis with all of what we talked about. Remember, the treasurer, the national treasurer of the party, accused Abure of stealing. And in the end, she was suspended. But before the suspension, the presidential candidate of the party demanded for a thorough investigation.
Yeah.
So it would seem that Peter Obi is sitting on the fence. He has not come out fully to let anyone know where he belongs in this matter. But an overwhelming majority of the obedient members in the Labour Party are on the side of the Labour Party. They want a change. They want to take control of the leadership of the party. How long this will last, we don't know. And finally, the INEC also did not attend the convention of the National Convention of the party, where Abure came away with victory. And it is mandatory for INEC to be present at a convention before that convention can be validated. So the absence of INEC, I can't explain, but it will raise legal issues and make it difficult for people to agree that Abure was properly returned as national chairman of the party at the convention held during the week.
BK, let me read this comment and then I'll definitely ask my very last question, or maybe penultimate. Just Production says, but why is Obi not intervening in the internal crisis of Labour Party before it gets to this stage, just like President Tinubu intervened in his party? Can we say Obi is only interested in himself, or what? Folashade Olarinye says, if Atiku and Obi are unable to coordinate their parties, how are they going to rule Nigeria as a country? Joseph Ayodele says, Obi is a failure. He started his political career in Abuja. Where is the party today? That's Joseph's position. But then the question I want to ask you is, when Peter Obi was asked why he shunned the convention, he responded by saying he only promised to rebuild Nigeria and not to build a new party. And the question people are asking is, it begs the question that if you can't build a common party, whose platform you intend to win an election, how then would you be able to build such a difficult country as ours, like Nigeria, BKO?
Peter Obi is a very slippery and cunning politician. Peter Obi can see that the momentum in the Labour Party is against Abure. He doesn't want to identify with Abure at this time. He knows what he's doing. He's someone that I'm very familiar with his idiosyncrasies. I can almost predict every action by Peter Obi because I know him very well. So he knows that at this time, Abure's popularity is waning badly. He is also aware that Abure is trying to cling on to power by all means possible. He is aware that the Labour Party and a sizable chunk of the obedient movement, that is those who came into the Labour Party simply to use it to actualize their desire to have Peter Obi elected president of Nigeria. That is the dominant group within the Labour Party. And that group at this time appears to have made up their mind. They appear to have made up their minds that Abure should go. So Peter Obi would not like to touch a raw nerve because he knows that if he does that, his people will not be happy with him. So he's very calculative. You can see that Abure is no longer popular and that his days are probably numbered. So he's not trying to commit himself at all. You would expect him to give a direct answer. But the Peter Obi that I know will not give a direct answer at this time because he's watching development. But he knows. And from his body language, it appears that he does not approve of the way the Labour Party is being run, especially the issue of corruption, forgery, all kinds of allegations made against Julius Abure. If Julius Abure were to be a politician who is principled, by now he will have quit because you've been accused of forgery, you've been accused of stealing, and you are still holding on to the party. Abure should be grateful to God because he used to be secretary of the party, used to be national legal advisor, and upon the death of Alhaji Abdulkadir Abdulrazak, he was catapulted to the national chairmanship. He was opposed initially, but in the end, they settled for him. He's done well. He led the party to its best performance in the national election. But he's waiting to be disgraced out of office. That is the way of most Nigerian politicians. They refuse to bow out when the ovation is loudest.
Right.
And they are greedy for power. That greed for power is evident in the leadership of the Labour Party at this time. That's why I tell people that they are not different from other political parties. How can Abure explain, for example, that the biggest people in the party did not attend their national convention? If the APC would do a national convention today, even the president, who is the leader of the party, will be present. Peter Obi was not there. Tony Nwoye was not there. And the former national chairman of ABGA, Victor Ume, who is a senator, also stayed away. So who are the people uh, at that convention? You know, well, the party is in crisis, and I trust the bigger parties. They are going to start making moves to move their key members into their fold, beginning in the National Assembly. What we've seen in Enugu House of Assembly will continue in the National Assembly, especially now that the House of Reps caucus of the party has shown clearly that it does not want to go with
That's right.
Abure.
That's right. Very quickly, let me just chip this in. Akin Oshintokun, the Director General of the Obi Dati campaign organization, you know, he was saying sometime this morning that Labour Party is likely to, you know, break into three parties. I mean, three factions: the Apapa faction, the Abure faction, and the Obedient faction. Because I wonder where the Obedience will definitely be in among the two. But he said that there will be the Obedient faction. But the question someone is asking here is that, do you see, TG Associates saying, do you see the likelihood of Obi leaving the Labour Party? Very quickly, Bikil.
No, I do not see that happen. I think his supporters are trying to get hold of the Labour Party and use it to promote his ambition to be president of Nigeria. And I am certain that they will continue to push and push. The party will disintegrate. Well, it's a massive shame that a party that had so much promise is disintegrating before our eyes. And it seems to me like those issues are intractable. It will be difficult to resolve, because when one of the complaints that Ajero supporters made was that Abure has shown total disrespect to the NLC leadership. And since he's shown total disrespect to the NLC leadership by abusing Ajero, they are not going to give him their support. They will do their best to kick him into touch, as it is said in football.
Right.
So, but we are watching. It's significant that Akin Oshintokun has admitted that the party could break into three. That would be the end of the Labour Party. If it breaks into three, it will not be strong enough to make a significant impact in future elections. Because the momentum that earned Peter Obi those significant votes is no longer there. It's no longer there.
That's right.
If an election is held today, it's not going to make that kind of impact. You saw that in the governorship election.
Yeah.
Peter Obi's popularity didn't help the governorship aspirants. They were only able to win in one state. So the decline of the Labour Party has begun, and shame on the leaders of the Labour Party that they've allowed things to degenerate to this extent. They should really be ashamed of themselves.
More like a flash in the pan or a storm in a teacup.